So if you're anything like me, you are trying to be a much more disciplined person than you are. And I would like to think of myself as a moderately disciplined person, but the truth is, we could all do better. When it comes to our finances, that's especially true. One thing I've learned about disciplined people is they aren't necessarily the people with the strongest of wills, but they recognize two things. Number one, they know what their areas of weaknesses are, and number two, they put systems in place to mitigate and avoid giving in to temptation. So today we're going to talk about the reason that I cannot be trusted to go to the store by myself. Recently I was at the store, and as I always do, I walked in without a cart, which was probably a good idea, going for one $6 item. And this story has repeated itself many times throughout my adult life. I will walk in and walk past several things that I want or have some sort of perceived need of. And I will think to myself, I'm going to buy this thing anyhow. I might as well buy it while I'm here. And before you know it, because I have no cart, my arms are full, and I am walking out of the store looking like a moron, carrying $60 worth of things when I only went in for a $6 item. Let me know in the comments if that story sounds like you. The truth is, that story might not look anything like your life, but we all have areas in our life of weaknesses. Funny enough, if I order something on Amazon, I don't have the same problem. I literally have access to the entire world of items on Amazon, and I'm more disciplined there than I am at a limited number of items at a store. And I think the reason is, at the store, I feel this sense of urgency because my time is valuable to me. If I am going to buy something, I might as well buy it while I'm there. But if I'm sitting at home on my iPhone debating whether or not I have to order something, it makes no difference if I click buy now or if it sits in my cart for a day or two. The bottom line and the point of that story is this: you need to know yourself. If you want to be successful financially speaking, you need to know what your areas of weakness or temptation are. Where do you overspend? How do you overspend? With whom do you overspend? And then you need to do something about it. So when it comes to that store example, a couple of things I have done to mitigate. I will look the item up and either add it to my cart on Amazon, or if it's a grocery item, I can add it to a Kroger click list. And what this does is it allows me to purchase what I need, but in a thought-through way. It's impractical to assume that I should just not go to the store, but that doesn't mean I go to the store without some kind of plan or at least awareness of this behavior. Sometimes just acknowledging the fact that this often happens is enough to help you snap out of the cycle of overspending and realize you need to be on your plan. You need to stick to your budget. Another way I can mitigate this is if I go to the store with someone else. If I go to the store with my wife and I try to convince her that I really need something that she knows I don't need, or that I have to purchase something today even though we know we have a grocery order coming up, it makes me a lot less likely to go forward with that purchase, and I can at least delay that purchase and save my money for a later date. Now you may say, that's great, Samuel, but I can go to the store all day long and never have a problem with overspending. My problem is that I have access to Amazon on my phone and I can just buy it now and not even have to think about it. What do I do? Well, at the end of the day, you are going to have to answer that for yourself. I don't know what all of your problems are and I can't tell you what to do, but you know exactly where you struggle, and if you commit to doing better, you'll find a way to get around the behavior. If you have to remove Amazon from your phone, if you have to stay signed out, so if you really want to buy something, you have to sign back in, and that extra little bit of time helps you think about whether or not you really need it. Or maybe you are a little bit more disciplined and you can add it to the cart and put it in the save for later category. Maybe you have a problem with overspending when you go out to eat with your friends. In that case, instead of bringing a debit or credit card, take $20. I have found that it's really hard to spend $30 when all I have with me is a $20. If it's putting money on a credit card that you end up paying interest on, cut up the credit card, freeze it, cancel it, whatever you have to do. These things that may seem silly are just a plan. It's a way to mitigate against behavior you don't want. Now don't misunderstand me. You don't have to be insanely tight or extreme with all of these areas. But if you know you struggle and if you know it's impacting your finances, do what you have to do. I think what this boils down to is how you think about money as a tool. So what would be a great exercise for you is not just to examine what your problems are and how you can avoid them, but if you can figure out the why behind it, you might be able to do a much better job of overcoming it in the long run. So once you've identified what you overspend on, with whom you overspend on, and how you overspend, and you've mitigated those areas, maybe you ask yourself the question, why? Why do I feel this way about spending? Why is it every time I go out with this person, I overspend? Is it because of my ego? Is it because I want to look cool? Is it because I went without for a long period of time and I never want the feeling of scarcity again? If you answer those questions, you might just help yourself unlock the key to building wealth much faster. So at the end of the day, what you'd want to do is identify what your plans are and how to get there. You can do it, and you're going to be thankful that you did. If you like more content like that, please subscribe, but let us know below what's your silly thing that you struggle with. Who knows, maybe someone will have a tip for you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next Tuesday.